Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, je conclus ma participation à l'Assemblée générale des Nations unies. Au cours des derniers jours, avec les dirigeants d'à travers le monde, j'ai travaillé sur des enjeux importants comme la protection de l'environnement, la lutte contre la pauvreté et l'égalité des genres. As the world marks the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights this year, Canada continues to reaffirm the importance of the rule of law and the rules-based international order. We need these rules to foster the stability that is essential to global prosperity and economic growth. Yesterday, at the UN Security Council, I called on Russia to withdraw its troops from Ukraine immediately, completely, and unconditionally. On top of the horrors caused by Putin in Ukraine, Russia's war is causing global inflation, which hurts all of us. Russia is weaponizing energy and food, leading millions to face shortages. Le Canada va continuer de soutenir l'Ukraine aussi longtemps qu'il le faudra. Et on va toujours te tenir debout pour défendre la primauté du droit et l'ordre international fondé sur les règles. Over the past few years, many challenges, like Russia's war in Ukraine, the pandemic, and global inflation, have shown us how interconnected we all are. It's increasingly clear that economic policy is climate policy, is security policy, is social policy. A good example of this is gender equality, one of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. Gender equality plays a key role in achieving all of the other SDGs. The latest World Bank estimates show that GDP per capita would be almost 20% higher if all gender employment gaps were to be closed. Discrimination is holding all of us back, not just women and girls. Whether it's gender equality or other SDGs, our target cannot be understood addressed in isolation. True for climate action. Ici aux Nations unies, j'ai parlé des efforts du Canada pour lutter contre les changements climatiques, tout en rendant la vie plus abordable et en créant des emplois. J'ai annoncé de nouveaux engagements pour réduire davantage la pollution, y compris les émissions de méthane. J'ai aussi annoncé un financement pour soutenir les pays qui sont vulnérables aux effets des changements climatiques et pour lesquels il faut assurer l'accès à l'aide. Et j'ai discuté avec des dirigeants du monde entier des prochaines mesures à prendre pour protéger nos océans, développer des énergies propres et faire croître les économies durables. We know that our citizens are living the realities of climate change, so I invited 2 Canadian firefighters to speak to leaders about the need to keep increasing our ambition. Back in 2021, in Glasgow, I launched the Global Carbon Pricing Challenge, which brings countries together on cutting emissions through pollution pricing. Chile, the Republic of Korea, the United Kingdom, Germany, and New Zealand have already joined. The EU Commission has also confirmed its support, and yesterday we announced that Norway, Denmark, Vietnam, and Côte d'Ivoire are joining too. And we're continuing our work so that more countries join us in the months to come. This system not only fights climate change in Canada, it also puts money back in people's pockets. Ce matin, j'ai aussi eu une rencontre avec plusieurs partenaires pour parler de la situation en Haïti. Notre objectif est de promouvoir des solutions à la crise dirigées par les Haïtiens et de mobiliser le soutien de la région et du monde. Le Canada va continuer de soutenir Haïti. On va investir 45 millions de dollars pour aider à nourrir jusqu'à 100 000 enfants chaque jour à l'école pendant 5 ans. On va investir dans le Fonds commun en matière de justice du Programme des Nations unies pour le développement afin d'aider, entre autres, à lutter contre la violence faite aux femmes. Et on va continuer d'aider pour renforcer la police nationale haïtienne. En plus de cette aide, aujourd'hui, on annonce de nouvelles sanctions sur 3 membres de l'élite économique haïtienne. Je tiens à remercier encore une fois tous ceux qui étaient présents ce matin et tous ceux qui travaillent activement sur des solutions pour aider les Haïtiens. Before I end today, I want to say a few words about the affordable housing and grocery, the first piece of legislation introduced by our government this fall. This bill will amend the Competition Act to better protect families and consumers and help stabilize grocery prices for Canadians. And it will remove the federal GST on the construction of new apartment buildings to help get more rental units built faster. I urge opposition leaders back home to help us get today's real solutions passed quickly. We're focused on making life more affordable for Canadians, and we'll be continuing this work in the days and weeks to come. Thank you for being here. I'm now happy to take your questions.
We will now start with the question and answer period. One question, one follow-up. The first question, la première question est à Radio-Canada. La parole est à vous.
M. Trudeau, Daniel Timon, Radio-Canada. Le gouvernement indien a suspendu l'émission de visa pour des Canadiens qui veulent voyager là-bas. Parlant de questions de sécurité, est-ce que vous avez l'intention de riposter à ce genre de geste-là en français et en anglais, s'il vous plaît?
On voudrait que le gouvernement de l'Inde prenne le temps de s'engager avec nous et de travailler avec le Canada pour faire suivi sur ces allégations et pour aider à s'assurer que la justice soit faite. We call upon the government of India to work with us to take seriously these allegations and allow justice to follow its course.
Respectueusement, vous n'avez pas répondu à la question. Avez-vous l'intention de riposter à cette mesure-là?
Le Canada est un pays de droit. On est un pays qui cherche à défendre les droits de nos citoyens et les règles de l'ordre international. On va toujours le faire de façon responsable, mais de façon très ferme aussi.
Est-ce que vous regrettez, compte tenu des répercussions de votre annonce, est-ce que vous regrettez ce que vous avez dit à la Chambre des communes, à quel point vous êtes allé loin dans vos affirmations en début de semaine?
Comme j'ai dit lundi, il y a des allégations crédibles que le gouvernement de l'Inde aurait été impliqué dans le meurtre d'un citoyen canadien sur sol canadien. C'est une affaire de la plus grande importance et on doit le prendre extrêmement au sérieux. C'est exactement ce que je fais. Mais on a un système de justice, on a des processus rigoureux qui vont prendre leur cours. Et en tant que pays, nous allons toujours être là pour défendre la sécurité des Canadiens et les principes de règles de droit. As I said on Monday, there are credible reasons to believe that agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of a Canadian on Canadian soil. That is something of the utmost and foundational importance in a country of rule of law, in a world where international rules-based order matters. We have a rigorous and independent justice system and robust processes that will their course, and we call upon the government of India to engage with us to move forward on getting to the truth of this matter.
Hello, Mr. Trudeau. Mackenzie Gray with Global News. So far, none of the U.S., U.K., Australia, or New Zealand have echoed the allegations about India. We know you gave a heads up to some of those world leaders. Did you ask them to publicly condemn New Delhi?
As a country of the rule of law, we have an obligation to ensure that those processes unfold in a rigorous and independent manner, and that is what we are ensuring. At the same time, we are ensuring that Canadians stay protected and that we stand up for the international rules-based order. That is something that we are doing, and it's something we are doing alongside our allies.
But so far at this point in time, you seem to be alone in echoing these allegations. Are you concerned that Canadian allies have not gone nearly as far as you in this situation?
We're standing up for the rules-based order. We're standing up for the rule of law. We're highlighting how unacceptable it would be for any country to be involved in the killing of a citizen on their own home soil, and that's something we will continue to stand for.
Prime Minister, since you made your statement in the House of Commons the other day, some of the reactions, some of the conversation's been about the quality of the evidence, how much Canada has. You said it was credible. Can I ask you to characterize it just a little bit further about how extensive it is, how solid it is, and whether you might ever share some of that with the public? So how extensive is this evidence?
I think it's extremely important that as a country with a strong and independent justice system, we allow those justice processes to unfold themselves with the utmost integrity. But I can assure you, the decision to share these allegations on the floor of the House of Commons Monday morning was not done lightly. It was done with, or Monday afternoon, was done with the utmost seriousness. Nous avons un système de justice rigoureux qui va suivre les étapes requises, mais je peux vous assurer que la décision de partager avec les Canadiens ces allégations extrêmement sérieuses lundi après-midi n'a pas été prise à la légère.
I mean, if I understand correctly, are you suggesting that the evidence was extensive? Is that what you're saying?
I'm repeating what I said on Monday afternoon, that there are credible allegations that we need to take extremely seriously as Canadians and indeed as a world.
Did Prime Minister Modi confirm or deny these allegations when you talked to him about them?
As I said, I had a direct and frank conversation with the Prime Minister in which I shared my concerns in no uncertain terms.
Hi, Prime Minister Tom Perry, CBC. Can I ask you, you've been asked about this already, but India has suspended visa services here in Canada. Are we going to reciprocate? Are you going to take some kind of action, tit-for-tat action in this?
We call upon the government of India to take seriously this matter and to work with us to shed full transparency and ensure accountability and justice in this matter. We are a country of the rule of law. We are going to continue to do the work necessary to keep Canadians safe and to uphold our values and the international rules-based order. That's our focus right now.
And when the two Michaels were taken into detention by China, you were quite successful. Your government was quite successful in rallying international support for Canada. It seems that countries are less eager to take as firm a stand on India. Why do you think that is?
In the situation of the two Michaels, Canada grounded itself in the rule of law, in our values, in upholding our international treaties and obligations, and demonstrated that as a country of the rule of law, we will remain anchored in it. That's what we did as a country, and that's what we do on the international stage, whether we're standing up for Ukraine or emphasizing the importance of the international rules-based order in other contexts. The rule of law is there to protect Canadians, it's there to protect all citizens around the world, and Canada will always be crystal clear on our defense of that for the protection and safety of everyone.
Hello, Prime Minister. Joy Malvin from CTV. I've got a question for my colleague in Ottawa, and I have another question about Ukraine. But first, can I ask you a couple of things about India? Will you share the evidence? And the other question about India is, can you tell us what kind of precautions that Canada is taking, security measures at the High Commission in India?
First of all, Canada has a rigorous and independent justice system that we trust to follow through the processes. As a country of the rule of law, we will ensure that those processes are strictly abided by and respected. In terms of safety in Canada and safety of Canadians, we always take the safety of Canadians extremely seriously, whether at home or overseas. I can assure everyone that Canada is a safe country. I continue to call for calm and for Canadians to remain true to who we are, open, respectful, grounded in respect and trust in our institutions and our law enforcement and justice systems. Okay. Le Canada est un pays sécure, un pays qui respecte les différences, un pays qui va toujours être là pour défendre la sécurité et le bien-être de nos citoyens, ici au Canada ou ailleurs à travers le monde. Nous allons continuer de le faire.
Prime Minister, one more question about Ukraine. You had very strong words today and yesterday about Russia, saying that they are flagrantly abusing their veto power. President Zelensky has asked that Russia's veto power be stripped from them. It's never been done before. Is there a way to do that? Would you support that? And how would that, I guess, proceed? How would that happen?
I think we find ourselves, as people understand, in the almost absurd situation where a permanent member of the UN Security Council, Russia, has violated the foundational principles and charter of the United Nations and then uses its powers granted by the United Nations to block actions to hold it to account. That is why the condemnation is so broad spread around the world of Russia's actions, and why we will continue to work in other fora around the world to account, to ensure that they do not profit from this illegal and unconscionable invasion of a peaceful neighboring sovereign nation. Okay. Je pense qu'on se retrouve dans une situation, ben c'est très clair qu'on se retrouve dans une situation quand même un peu ridicule ou même absurde que un membre du Conseil de sécurité des Nations Unies, la Russie, ait violé les principes fondamentaux des Nations Unies, puis ensuite utilise sa position au sein du leadership des Nations Unies pour empêcher toute redevabilité ou conséquence pour leurs actions. C'est pour ça qu'il y a une condamnation si universelle ici aux Nations Unies et à travers le monde. On a eu 141 pays qui ont voté pour condamner la Russie l'année passée, et qu'on continue de chercher à exiger des comptes et s'assurer que la Russie ne profite pas de cette invasion illégale.
Sorry, Prime Minister, but would you support stripping Russia of its veto power, and how would that happen?
Canada has long encouraged UN reform of various types, and these are conversations that are ongoing.
Prime Minister James McCartan, Canadian Press. I'm wondering, I'd like to ask about Haiti, if I could. The U.S. is reportedly getting ready to go to the Security Council to ask about a multinational security mission. Kenya will lead that. Now that Canada's off the hook in terms of leading a mission like that, can you rule out or say whether or not Canada would take part in such a mission?
I think let's be very clear that Canada is one of the countries, if not the country, that has been leaning in most substantively in standing up for the Haitian people. Whether it's the $100 million we've allocated to support the HNP 6 months ago, or the $80 million we're announcing further today, the 29 sanctionings of individuals responsible for the hardships going on for the Haitian people right now. Canada is taking action in significant ways, but Canada also has 30 years of experience in supporting the Haitian people. And we know that the only lasting solutions will come through working with the Haitian people themselves, empowering the Haitian peoples themselves to direct and take responsibility for the future. That's why I called upon Prime Minister Henry today to do much more to create political unity and consensus around international support and perhaps interventions. We need to make sure that the Haitian people themselves are at the center of the path forward, regardless of how we define that path to be and how we work to establish the right plan. We know it takes development aid, it takes humanitarian aid, it takes security and perhaps military aid to stabilize the ongoing cataclysmic situation going on in Haiti right now.
En français?
Depuis les débuts de cette crise, depuis plus d'1 an, le Canada est là parmi les pays, sinon le pays, le plus engagé pour défendre et appuyer le peuple haïtien. 100 millions de dollars pour investir dans la sécurité en aidant la police nationale haïtienne. Aujourd'hui, une annonce de 80 millions de dollars pour aider, 100 millions de dollars pour la police nationale, 80 millions de dollars pour aider, annoncés aujourd'hui. C'est des investissements qui démontrent notre sérieux à ce niveau-là. Mais comme je l'ai dit au Premier ministre Henry aujourd'hui, nous avons besoin, que ce soit nous au Canada, nos alliés du CARICOM, que ce soit des pays sur la scène internationale, nous avons besoin que le gouvernement de Haïti prenne au sérieux la nécessité de créer un consensus politique, mais aussi d'amener le peuple haïtien eux-mêmes en appui pour les interventions ou les plans que nous avons pour stabiliser et aider le peuple haïtien. On ne peut pas continuer de mettre des diachylons sur les crises et les défis auxquels les Haïtiens font face sans que les Haïtiens eux-mêmes soient au centre de toute solution. Pour l'instant, le gouvernement n'est pas en train de rassembler assez un consensus ou de l'unité pour que n'importe quelle intervention soit réussie.
Briefly on India as well, given the fact that Mr. Nijjar was aware that there were threats against his life and meeting with intelligence officers, I'm wondering if you're concerned at all about how this was handled by the RCMP and CSIS and whether there should be a review of the fact that this couldn't have been prevented.
I think there will be many questions continue to be asked about the matter at hand, and it is important that we continue to do everything necessary to keep Canadians safe. People come to Canada from every corner of the world, sometimes fleeing regimes that share very different values in various parts of the world than Canada. And when they come to Canada, when they become Canadian citizens, they deserve to be fully protected. And that's something that we have always taken seriously as a country, and we will always look to do even more to keep Canadians safe.
We have time for one last question from international media.
Prime Minister Neda Tawfiq with the BBC. You'll have no doubt seen commentary that the relations with India amongst the West, its growing importance, plays into the fact that a lot of your allies have been silent on this. I wonder what your reaction to that is, and if you do believe that accountability, if the evidence is credible, borne out by your investigation, if that will take a back seat to the harsh realities of geopolitics.
There is no question that India is a country of growing importance and a country that we need to continue to work with, not just in the region, but around the world. And we're not looking to provoke or cause problems. But we are unequivocal around the importance of the rule of law and unequivocal about the importance of protecting Canadians and standing up for our values. That's why we call upon the government of India to work with us to establish processes to discover and to uncover the truth of the matter and to allow justice and accountability to be served. Il n'y a aucun doute que l'Inde est un pays important et d'une importance croissante dans le monde. Et nous ne cherchons pas à provoquer ou à causer des différends. Mais nous allons toujours être sans équivoque sur les principes de droit et les valeurs que nous avons. Et c'est pour ça que nous demandons au gouvernement de l'Inde de travailler avec nous en toute transparence pour s'assurer que la justice suive son plein cours.
That takes
Merci
us
beaucoup
to
tout
the
le
end
monde.
of our press conference.